Yo, what it do, YouTube? It's your boy Coach Talk. We are back with another video today. But before I get into it, I'd like to thank all the recent subscribers. If you are new, go ahead and turn on the notice. Also, subscribe. Hit the like button as well. Don't forget about that. I appreciate each and every one of you. So let's hop into the video. So today we are talking about round 2 of the Texans versus the Colts, which just went down yesterday on Sunday. That was another game. The Colts escaped. They escaped another game with the same result, ending as a fumble. Now, the whole game, the Colts and the Texans were fighting back and forth. It looked like the Texans were going to pull it off at first because they came back at the beginning. The Colts had a good lead. They had a good lead, and unfortunately, at the end, the Colts wind up not being consistent enough and running away from the game plan, literally. So the Texans crawled back into the game, and at the end, drove down the field, and Kiki Kuti wound up fumbling in the end zone from a punch-out due to Darius Leonard. So the Colts, at the end of the day, did sweep the Texans and wind up getting the victory. Even though the Colts are 10-4, they're still fighting for a playoff spot, which is a tough spot in the AFC due to all these teams with good records. Who knows who may end up going home or making the playoffs. So that's why I say the Colts have to win out the rest of their games just to be safe. It's going to be a tough fight, but I feel like the Colts can do it. The Colts are in playoff mode right now, especially with the fight they just put up against the Texans. I feel like they can play anybody at this moment. Now, we know who we play next week, but we're going to talk about that later on in the week. So I appreciate you. If you're new, you got to subscribe and turn on the notice so you can know when I'm dropping these videos. So you got to stay tuned. But let's talk more about this game. So the offense. Shout out to the offense. The offense did a superb job today on Sunday. I would give them a grade B for their performance. Now, I would have gave them an A if they were consistent, if coach and the offensive game plan was running the football like they were doing, which was consistent enough for JT. JT could have easily had over 100 rushing yards this game, but due to the fact that we were separating the carries with Nyheim Hines and the others, it kind of pulled away from him to getting his 100-yard rushes. Now, that's not really an issue if it's working for both running backs, but the fact that we have a dual system with him and Hines, both of them can produce over 50-yard rushes easily, so I wasn't really mad about JT only having about 80 rushing yards. Now, he did score in the end zone, which is a good thing to see for JT because he's starting to pick up the pace and become more explosive. Now, we all go to the same motto. When JT gets pulled out of the game, we wonder, why is he getting pulled out? The fact that he's still a rookie and we still have more than one running back that can produce yards per carry, it's going to kind of slander, well, it's going to put an effect on his game. It's going to put an effect on his yards. So him getting pulled it's never really an issue for me. It really is because I know Hines is explosive and so does Jordan Wilkins. So they can do just about the same thing. And more than one running back will tire the defense. If more than one running back can produce the same amount of yards, it's going to tire that defense, especially if it's consistent. So shout out to the run game. The run game did a great job on Sunday. The pass game from Philip Rivers was superb. He didn't throw another turnover. He didn't throw a turnover again against the Texans. Philip Rivers is improving week by week. I say it a lot, but I'm going to keep saying it because he's doing a great job at QB. For a veteran quarterback that's about to be 40, we see quarterbacks that's past the age of 35 of what they're producing, and they're not doing a good job. They're not doing as good as Philip. So I'm going to put Philip over both of them, especially due to his performance in this divisional game round 2. And we know the second meeting in divisional games is a trap game, but we know that Philip is managing the game how he's supposed to manage it. So Philip Rivers, you have my respect. Shout out to you for managing the football. Shout out to you for dotting up T.Y. on that dot down the middle of the field, breaking that zone from the Texans. It was a perfect pass. Nobody expected T.Y. to be wide open going down the middle of the field. I know I didn't. I didn't expect it because T.Y. was catching passes, but he was never really open. So at the end of the game, Philip Rivers had the trust in the receiver that's always cooking the Texans. He throws it up the middle of the field uncovered over the top of two defenders. It kind of looked like the pass Peyton threw to Marvin Harrison against the Titans a long time ago. It kind of looked like the same pass, beating double coverage and throwing it almost to the end zone. He almost scored. But the fact that Philip Rivers' throwing is getting better, his throwing is getting better by the game. He's not forcing turnovers. He's not forcing bad passes. Now, he still overthrows some wide receivers a few times, but that's normal due to his throwing motion. It's normal. But the fact that he's putting the ball on the money where it needs to go, and actually hitting his receivers like Pascal, Trey Burton sometimes, Mo Ali Cox. T.Y. Hilton was doing his thing. Hines was doing his thing. Phillip Rivers was doing a great job on Sunday, so most credit goes to him. He did a good job managing the game. The run game did a good job, and the receivers did a good job catching the football. Now, a few times it did go out of bounds on some of the passes that were overthrown, but me and Phillip Rivers and whoever was watching know that it wasn't the receiver's fault. But it's okay, because we still wound up pulling out the game. We could have ran the football the whole game, if we're being honest. If we was running the opposite direction of J.J. Watt, which was working, I feel like we could have easily kept that lead and won the game before going down to the clutch in the fourth quarter on the drive that the Texans could have scored on. We could have run the football like we were doing instead of trying to, crawl back into a lead that we already had. We had a good position, but the Texans just got a good momentum burst on Chad Henson's touchdown, and the defense fell asleep. So it kind of made the offense fall asleep as well. But it's all good. I'm going to go more on the defense now. The defense was playing a good job in the first and second quarter. They did a good job trying to manage the game and try to stop Deshaun Watson. DeForest Buckner had 3 sacks. Darius Leonard led the team in tackles. You got Kari Willis was playing good on coverage. Rocky Sin did a lights out job on the Texans. He didn't have any penalties. He's starting to mature. It looked like he's more disciplined than he was a few weeks ago. So shout out to Rocky Sin. The safeties did a decent job. The linebacker core was okay. And the D-line, they did all they could to stop Watson. I give them that. The most times Watson gets sacked, and we are one of the teams that do that. We put the most pressure on him, but the thing is to try to get him down. He's a very sneaky quarterback, man. He always escapes the pressure, but the way that the Colts put the pressure on him on Sunday at the beginning of the first half was perfect. It was perfect. Now, they did get gassed, so he did get away with a few passes because they were gassed and he was always moving around. But the Colts D-line still did a decent job in covering Deshaun Watson. Now, the defense did let up a few touchdowns due to miscommunication in the zone because Deshaun was breaking that zone. So that is really the only issue we really have is the pass coverage. The pass coverage is probably the biggest issue the Colts have if we make the playoffs. How are we going to stop the pass game? If the pressure, the way our defense is set up, in my opinion, if the pressure doesn't get on the QB, we're going to get aired out. It's as simple as that. The zone defense that we run, if they get time in the pocket and the pressure doesn't get there, we're going to have to rely on the safeties or whoever's in that flat to try to get a swat or an interception. Now, it is unfortunate because sometimes if you see the quarterback back there with more than 2 seconds on his hands, you know somebody's about to catch the football. It's as simple as that. But when the pressure does get there, we're definitely one of the best defenses on the field on Sunday or Monday or Thursday. Simple as that. When the pressure gets there, we can't be stopped. So the defense did an exceptional job, especially on that last drive. At the end of the game, emotions were high. No one knew what was going to happen. The Texans drove down the field like they always do, especially Deshaun Watson was throwing to his favorite target, which was David Johnson that whole drive. David Johnson was wide open underneath, and he was so fast. He was looking like all-pro David Johnson all over again, trying to go down the field and score. And unfortunately, Kiki Kuti had a kind of an off game against us. The first time he played us, he did a pretty decent job. But this game, he was dropping a few passes. The pressure was getting there, and then you guys know at the end of the game, he fumbled from a punch out from Darius Leonard. It was just a good bend but don't break defense at the end of the game because we all thought the Texans might score. The Texans definitely was probably about to score that drive if Kuti did not get punched out. So the pressure that the defense put on the Texans at the end of the game was just lights out, exceptional. It was definitely playoff type of defense, and they did a good job, man. So you guys let me know who was your MVP of that game and why. And you guys let me know about the predictions going into next week, even though I'm going to be dropping a video soon about that or live stream about that soon. But you guys stay tuned. Appreciate each and every one of you. And until next time, this is Colts Talk signing out. Peace.